Hello, my name is Milind Date, and I bring you this short video on non-financial performance indicators. I'm an expert tutor for the APM examination. In this topic explainer video, I would give you some exam-oriented insights for approaching questions related to the use and application of non-financial performance indicators. I'll be using the abbreviation NFPIs in the context of APM examination, of course. Remember, this is not a teaching video, but this will help you in understanding how this topic is tested generally in the APM exam and how you should approach answering the questions related thereto. So, this particular video, I intend to bring to you the syllabus area that is covered along with the related learning objectives of NFPI. How is this concept tested in the APM examination? And how to maximize your marks. And while doing that, I'll pick up some of the past exam questions as a sample to illustrate to you these things. And also followed up with examiner comments, which invariably comes up with some of the common pitfalls, which I sincerely urge you to avoid. So the video will give you a holistic view of this topic in a very broad sense. The context, of course, is the strategic performance measurement. It's commonly said, whatever gets measured gets managed, and hence performance measurement aspect is really, really important. And to objectively measure the enterprise performance, the key is selecting appropriate and relevant key performance indicators. You will agree with me that most commonly used KPIs are typical financial measures such as profitability, returns, net present value, etc. But these have their limitations. For example, they can answer the what part of the measurement, but they fail to provide insights into the why part. And that why part is actually going to help you in taking actions for the future strategies of the company. And this is why measuring non-financial performance is very, very essential. So what's covered in the syllabus? It's section C of the syllabus area, strategic performance management, and the specific learning objective areas are spelled out in section C4 from the subparts A to D of the study guide. So I urge you to go through that first. The NFPI knowledge is set within the context of, as I said, strategic performance measurement, but both in private as well as public sector, for profit as well as not-for-profit organizations, and is ultimately going to help you link to the shareholder perspective and the applications even in the divisionalized structures. All the learning objectives mentioned here are at intellectual level 3, meaning that the students will be assessed on their ability to synthesize and evaluate from the given information. The first part talks about how NFPIs are linked with financial performance indicators. Then you are supposed to identify as well as discuss significance of non-financial measures in relation to some specific areas such as employees, product or service quality, customer satisfaction, repeat business ratings, customer loyalty, access and availability of the products, etc. And then you naturally need to understand some of the difficulties and challenges that organizations face in number one, building these NFPIs, and number two, in interpreting data on the qualitative aspects of the business. And then the syllabus also highlights two specific areas where you need to try and apply the NFPI as a concept. The one is brand awareness, and second is the company profile. How do they impact on the business performance? So your examination questioning for APM will be set based on these stated learning objectives. So again, while it's good for you to generally understand the concept of the non-financial performance indicators, but you need to more concentrate on how do you make use of them in assessing, analyzing, or evaluating a given scenario to you. And remember, this being a strategic level of examination, the business scenarios could be very, very different from each other. The requirements could be set in a completely different manner. So only reading text is not going to help you. Of course, it's going to lay foundation. But what I would like to let you know is to prepare yourself from chapter number 13 from ACCA Study Hub, and try and understand the basic about NFPI. What are they? Why are they used? Basically understand the way in which these qualitative measures of performance, which are forward-looking, which have external focus, against financial performance indicators, which in fact are internally focused. So you need to understand that NFPIs will talk about why part of the business problem. They would measure the outcomes, the financial performance indicators, but NFPIs will help you understand what are the drivers of performance. So what are the reasons behind the financial outcomes will be better understood if you make use of NFPIs in evaluating your business performance. They should be aligned to the type of organization, whether it's a for-profit or not-for-profit, manufacturing, service, technology. Different performance areas could be assessed with the help of non-financial performance measures. And then look at how the NFPIs could be used or applied using various performance measurement models that are developed by management gurus and experts, like, for example, the balanced scorecard, the Fitzgerald and building block model, and also the performance pyramid by Lynch and Cross. So look at these basics from the ACCA Study Hub, and then try and move out to do practice questions on the concept of non-financial performance indicators. So let's move on to see what's tested and what's not tested by the APM examiner on this particular topic. Well, what's not tested is pretty straightforward, simple. There won't be any direct question saying, okay, what are the benefits, what are the challenges, what are the different types of NFPIs that organizations should use or would use, etc. You may not very frequently and regularly get tested on developing or suggesting various NFPIs for a given performance area. That's also very, very rarely you can expect. But what's mainly tested, based on my experience, two aspects. One, evaluate existing performance report or performance dashboard, as sometimes it is referred to. And this evaluation is something which the management accountants are required to look at across a range of issues which affect organizational performance, and extend it whether to see whether the objectives are achieved or how the operations are impacted. As I said, there won't be any direct reference to NFPIs, but an in-depth learning certainly will help you to comment on a range of issues that affect performance. There could be questions on evaluation of existing performance management and measurement systems. Because if existing performance management or measurement systems won't embody the non-financial performance areas, then that's a fundamental weakness. So based on clear understanding of the given scenario, given information, and the evaluation made, you should be able to and prepared to offer alternative solutions. Now, this topic could be tested mainly in section A 50 mark question, or even in the section B 25 marks question, where there is a very clear guideline that one of the 25 marks questions will be based on section D of the syllabus, which is based on various performance measurement models such as balanced scorecard, building blocks, and pyramid. So these models do contain sizable element of performance measurement which is linked to NFPIs. Given dashboard to you sometimes in the examination may include or not include certain aspects of the business that need specific attention for measuring and managing performance. Let us look at how this topic was tested in the most recent examination, whereby you will understand what should be done and what should be avoided when tackling requirements on this. So the question was like this. I've, of course, summarized some information from the given exhibits for better understanding in this video, but you can refer to the practice platform to read the case in depth and try and understand what I'm saying in this video. So the company has no performance measurement system, that's what it said. And the board has described the broad aims of the business. There are two aims. One is to grow the brand to be the best in the country, in the industry, and minimize impact on the environment. Then you're also, as a part of the exhibit, your role was given as a performance management expert, and you were asked to evaluate suitability. So whether the dashboard brings out the performance to measure the extent to which these two aspects of the broad aims are being met or not. And it's very clearly, you're clearly instructed to focus only on these areas and not on the general features of the dashboard. So again, the context is set. One, related to the suitability of the performance dashboard to understand whether it meets broad aims and also address key issues related to e-commerce system. Obviously, the given company is in the business related to e-commerce. So that is something which was given, based on which the requirement was pretty straightforward for 10 marks. Writing a report to respond its instructions for work on the following areas, and that area is performance dashboard, as I said. So basically, you would evaluate suitability of that dashboard, whether it helps you to evaluate or assess that the company is achieving its broad aims, or addresses the key issues which are related to e-commerce systems. And of course, this is how the whole case was presented. Now, what should the approach be? The approach would be just to look at the dashboard, which would include invariably certain performance parameters and some actual data related to certain period or periods of time. Now, based on how the students could make mistakes, the examiner has come up with their comments. What are the comments? One of the main areas where candidates would have enhanced their responses was ensuring that the structured responses to address broad aims and issues related to e-commerce, which students didn't do. They went on to comment about which are the areas that are missed out, which are the areas where the company was doing well, company wasn't doing well. That was not asked. You were supposed to specifically comment on certain tasks only. Candidates, as our second para says, that they would use the data in the given performance dashboard to provide analysis of performance. That was not asked. And many candidates failed to answer or offered very brief responses to the part of the requirement asked whether the dashboard addresses key issues related to e-commerce. Now, this is where your commercial acumen comes into picture, really. Because responses often tended to offer analysis, which is not sufficient at all. So if you see the main weakness areas that the examiner has pointed out are the ones which are given in these three paragraphs. And naturally, students who reflected that or belonged to these weaknesses didn't score a pass in this requirement. So dashboard analysis is definitely very focused in this kind of a requirement. You should pick up points from the dashboard and link it to the business aims. Dashboard, for example, given in this question, it can measure a performance of, let's say, brand performance. So public trust in the brand, product quality, market share. Are these the performance parameters that will help company to understand its brand equity? Comment yes or no. And then support why do you say yes and why do you say no. But when it comes to impact on environment, well, the dashboard didn't seem to have any kind of a parameter that would help company to evaluate the impact on environment. For example, it could be e-waste creation or carbon emissions, etc. It may not be directly related to the dashboard given. Candidates could have referred actually to the exhibit on another exhibit actually, which was provided on another area of benchmarking, which contains some of the NFPIs on e-commerce related issues. And that's where I say your commercial acumen comes into picture. Like, for example, e-commerce, which is heavily technology based, that could be monitored in terms of the amount of downtime, the number of security breaches, etc., etc. So that's very, very crucial for you to understand. Avoid common pitfalls, of course. And those common pitfalls that were identified by the examiners, not only in this particular exam, but on same concept asked over a period of time. Examiners have found out students not answering requirements and offer only generic points. They only say the use of non-finance performance measures would help the company to understand the reasons behind the performance. this is not going to score you marks. You say, this was evident in the performance dashboard because certain elements were found missing. Unless you write this elaborate explanatory part, you won't get marks just for providing a general explanation. Students were found to copy paste the information from the exhibits. That's also not going to help you. You need to add value. You need not communicate the examiner the things which the examiner has provided to you. No marks for that. Don't try and repeat points in different words. You're not going to get marks for stating the same thing in different words. Examiners have also found that the answers sometimes are too detailed, where it's like ignoring time management technique, or too brief, where you aren't able to impress on marker that you have understood the requirement. Unsupported points will not fetch marks for this. So the first thing, so far as NFPI as a syllabus area is concerned, try and understand its context within the syllabus, understand the learning objectives, learn from the ACCA Study Hub the basics about non-financial performance indicators, and then start question practice. Do the questions on your own, compare them with the model answers, as well as examining team's comments, and then try and fix the issues that you feel you might have faced when you wrote your answers. And that's the only way to keep improving and ultimately being confident to take on strategic professional examinations like this. So that's it from me in this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the very best for your exam preparations.